Hey kiddos, we have science today, so go ahead and grab your science books for me. Your science book, God's World, we're going to continue learning about it. So as soon as you have your book, you're going to open it with me to page 24. Open your book with me to page 24. And on page 24, it says, what is rain? Water is in the air all the time. When it is raining, we can see the water in the air. The sun is out. God may send a rainbow. The sun takes back some of the rain. We cannot see it. So now we're going to talk about this for a little bit. We're going to talk about rain and about this water in the air. What does that mean? And then we're going to go back to your book, okay? So leave your books open. But now, the book said that there's water in the air all the time, even though we can't see it. So we're going to do a little experiment now. I am getting some paper wet. And we're making the board, the chalkboard wet. Now I want you to keep on looking at the chalkboard with me. And let's see how long it's gonna take for it to dry, okay? There are some parts of it that are already drying, so we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna keep on talking, and then we're gonna keep on checking on the board to see how long it's gonna take for the board to dry. So, water is in the air all the time. Sometimes we can't see it, but when it rains, then we can see that water in the air. And then, so water can be in different forms, okay? There are different forms of water. We have liquid water, which is just like the water that you drink all the time. We also have frozen water. So frozen water is ice. Okay, I have a little piece of ice here in the cup for you to see. Okay, so this is also water, but it's frozen water. And water can also be in steam. Now, that I can't do here in the classroom, but whenever mom's cooking something, you can check and see that there's sometimes like vapor coming out, especially if she's boiling water to do anything. And that vapor that comes out of the pan that she has boiling water, that's also water, but it's water in vapor form. Now, let's look at that. The board is still not dry, but it's starting to dry a little bit. So we're gonna keep on watching and see what is happening with all this water. So while the board is there and we're watching what's happening there, now today you're going to do a few experiments with me, okay? So I need you to go ahead and do the same thing I did. Grab a cup, and then you're gonna put an ice cube inside that cup, okay? You're gonna put an ice cube inside the cup, and you're gonna leave that ice cube on top of your desk, on top of the table where you're working. It's just gonna sit there. You're not gonna do anything to it. It's just gonna sit there, and then you're going to observe and see how long it takes for the ice to melt. And when the ice melts, you are going to see frozen water turning into liquid water. You're gonna get to see water in two forms. Okay, so first it's frozen, and then you're gonna see it in liquid form once it melts. And I want you to notice, and it's just for you to keep to yourself, to notice and see how long it takes for that process to happen. And then you are also going to do another experiment with me. And this other experiment is, I want you to grab a cup, okay? Actually, it would be even better if you could grab, you might need mom's help for this. Grab a measuring cup, okay? And then put 1 cup of water into that measuring cup, and then dip it into a cup like this, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead, grab a Sharpie or a marker, and you're going to put a mark on that cup where that water is, okay? So you know exactly how much water you had when you started. So you're going to go ahead and mark that cup, just like I'm doing with mine. And then you're going to grab a second cup, and you're going to do exactly the same thing. Measure 1 cup of water with a measuring cup, just like you did with the other one. Pour it into a different cup and mark it with a sticker, with some tape, with a marker. If you have a plastic cup like this, you can use a marker. If you have one of Mommy's glass cups, do not use a Sharpie, okay? So ask Mom what you can use to mark how much water you have. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to mark it, so you know exactly how much water you had. Then you're going to put all those 3 cups together. The one with the ice cube, and the 2 ones that you put water inside. Now with the one of the cups that you put water inside, you are going to cover it with a lid, or I don't have a lid, so I'm just going to use another empty cup, and I'm going to put on top of it. Okay? So you're going to have 1 uncovered, 1 covered, and an ice cube. And then I want you to observe and see how long it's going to take your ice cube to melt and become liquid water. And then let's think about this. What do you think? Oh, look at that. Our board is almost dry. So what happened to all that water that was on the board? What happened to it? Tell me, it's not completely dry yet, but it's almost. A lot of it is already gone. What happened to all that water that was on the board? Yes, it's now in the air and we can't see it anymore. We could see it when it was on the board, but now it evaporated into the air. And so it is in the air, but we just can't see it. So there is water in there. This is just to show you that there's water in the air all the time. Sometimes you just can't see it. So when we come to school with our hairs wet, we wash our hair and you come to school and it's still wet. And when it's still wet, you can see it in our hair, but as the day goes by, it dries. The water that's in our hair evaporates into the air. So that's why all the time there's water in there, in your classroom, in your house, outside. So all the time there's water in the air. That's what I wanted to show you on the board. It's just for you to see that there is water in the air all the time. And this process of water drying and going into the air is called evaporation, okay? So now let's think about it. We just talked about evaporation. So what do you think is going to happen with this cup? The one that's not covered. What do you think? Do you think the water is going to what? Evaporate. Yes. Well, we'll see, right? It's an experiment, so we can't come to any conclusions today because we're trying. We're going to see. What do you think is going to happen to this one? We'll see. We'll see if that's what's going to happen because it's covered. So we'll see. And this one we already know that it's going to melt. And this one we're just trying to see how long it's going to take for it to melt. And every day we're going to look at them and see if there's any changes in those 3 cups. So, very, very good. That is all about water and rain and evaporation. So that's what happened. The water is in the air because it evaporates. It evaporates from all sorts of things, okay? So for example, the waters in the lakes, in the ocean, it's evaporating into the air all the time. And then it goes up, and I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later. It goes up and it forms clouds, and then when those clouds get really heavy, the water then condenses, and now it's not in vapor anymore, it becomes liquid form, and that's what rain is. So water evaporates, goes up into the air, clouds are formed, and then clouds condense, and the water that was evaporated became vapor, now becomes liquid again, and that's what rain is. Very good, so now grab your book again. And we are going to look at page 25. We're going to look at page 25 now. And page 25 says storms. It may be a hot summer day. The clouds are getting dark. A flash of light comes through the clouds. The flash is called lightning. Yes, just like in our poem, a woodpecker. Very good. Then we hear a boom. What's that boom? Thunder. Yes, it is thunder. the wind begins to blow hard, the rain comes down fast. So it's not just raining anymore. Now we have a storm. And then we're going to look at page 26. So notice, before I go to page 26, notice that lightning happens first. First it's lightning and then there is thunder. And now on page 26, it says, it is a thunderstorm. I must stay inside. I am safe in the house. If I am outside, I must stay away from trees, and I should stay away from water too. I will not be afraid. God is with me. And then in the bottom here, Bible verse W is written here. What does Bible verse W says? What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalm 56:3. So, whenever there's a storm, there are some things that we need to do to stay safe. So the best thing that we can do is stay inside the house. Okay? Do not go outside if there's a thunderstorm. If you're already outside when it starts raining, when a storm starts, a thunderstorm starts, then you need to look for a safe place to be. And that safe place is definitely not under trees and definitely not in the water. I don't know if it ever happened to you, but it happened to me a few times when I'm either at a pool or I'm at the ocean, at the beach, and then a thunderstorm starts and the lifeguards all say what? Yes, they all tell us to get out of the water right away because it is not safe to be in the water when there's lightning, when there's a thunderstorm. So we need to stay inside, and if you are not inside, you need to look for a safe place to be. Either go inside a store or go inside your car, but under a tree is not safe, and in the water is not safe. We need to do everything we can to be safe, but do we need to be scared? No. Do you need to be afraid? No, why not? Yes, because God is with you. He's taking care of you. When we need to always remember to trust in God and know that He is keeping us safe. All right, so that's it for today. Remember our experiment. So you can leave your cups on a table, on the kitchen table, on top of a counter, anywhere where they will be safe. And then we're going to go back to it a few times this week to see if we have seen any changes. Hope you enjoyed science today.